Getting started, welcome. I'm Amber Hefner. I'm the Executive Director of Illinois Digital Educators Alliance. And today we're going to be talking with you about the Public Act 101-0654. Specifically within that Public Act, we will be talking about the computer literacy portion. I also have Lindsay Zilli joining us. Lindsay, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Zilli. I'm the Director of Professional Learning for IDEA. I'm a former 4th and 5th grade teacher and instructional technology coach, and I'm excited to be able to share some learning opportunities with you today.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. And for those of you that joined a little earlier, you might have heard me be very excited that we have Jessie Irvin joining us. Jessie, do you just want to say hi?
Sure. My name is Jessie Irvin, and I'm the Computer Science Principal Consultant at ISB. I started there in January, and before that, I was a classroom teacher for 15 and a half years, teaching pretty much every business and computer class out there.
Awesome. Welcome, Jessie. Thank you so much. So, Jessie, feel free to pipe in at any time that is needed, but we really, really appreciate having you join us today. All right, let's get started. So just welcome. We do like to have people share who they are, where they're coming from, maybe what role you have. It does kind of help us give an understanding. You don't have to participate in this part if you don't want to. If we were doing a workshop or a presentation a little bit longer, we'd probably spend some time on that, but would love to hear who's joining us today. If you feel comfortable putting your information in the chat. All right, so computer literacy, and Lindsay, each of these slides, or I can actually put them in the chat window as well.
I think we lost Amber temporarily, but I'm going to put the slides in the chat real quick.
Gotta love technology. Sorry, did Lindsay? Oh, there she is.
Yep, I'm here.
All right, I'm good. I've got it. All right, so sorry, what I was saying is these slides, Lindsay, if you have them open, do have links in them, but I can put them in the chat window as well. So if you're following along, and thank you, Lindsay, for sharing that. If you're following along, you can click it in here. Basically, what we have linked here is everything that ISB has put out. So they have done a lot of phenomenal research and developing resources available for you. So specifically, when we're talking about computer literacy, using the definition that ISB has created, we are talking about a broad definition of one's knowledge and ability to use computers related to technology efficiently and effectively. Computer literacy includes knowing what constitutes a computer, the uses and applications for computers, and the impact of computers on society. So we're going to talk a little bit about computer science, just a little bit here in a minute, to make sure that we understand the difference between computer literacy and computer science. So computer literacy, what I love, Lindsay's going to talk a little bit about a partnership that we have with another organization that's working with us on putting together some professional learning. But one of the ways that they explained computer literacy versus computer science is computer literacy is looking at, for instance, we utilize Google in our nonprofit. And so utilizing the computer literacy component would be understanding how to use Google Docs, understanding how to use Excel, understanding the creation of presentation, whereas computer science would be on the other end of that in the development. Let's say in Excel, for instance, computer science might be the development of the pieces that you can use in Excel to get Excel to do what you want it to do. right? So kind of more that coding in end of it. So kind of simply the difference between computer literacy, computer science. In Public Act 101-0654, the mandate for computer literacy specifies that students receive appropriate opportunities to gain computer literacy skills at each grade level being K-12. So the mandate is students must receive opportunities to gain computer literacy skills in K-12 schools. Okay? It then adds that in high school, there is a 1-year course that includes intensive instruction in computer literacy. Okay? So at the high school level, any freshman coming in this school year, so this fall, this mandate applies for incoming freshmen. So it does not apply to sophomores, juniors, or seniors in high school right now, only incoming freshmen. Okay? Now, this intensive year-long instruction can be completed in any content area. Okay? So you can meet the computer literacy mandate at the high school level for incoming freshmen and all those after in any content area. It can be math, science, could be computer science, okay? But it doesn't have to be, all right? So those are very important details in looking at what this public act is mandating for schools for computer literacy, okay? Now looking at computer science, again, this is linked. So thank you, Lindsay, for sharing the slides. If you click on the actual link, sorry, let me go back. If you click in this slide, it's going to bring up the computer science information that ISB has provided. All of these are on ISB's website as well, okay? So this defines more about computer science. The mandate for computer science is that a computer science course must be offered at the high school level, okay? And then ISB has gone on. You can see here, here's the Illinois State course catalog. So they have defined what those courses at the high school level can be.
All right.
Okay? So that's the difference between what the mandate specifies for computer literacy versus computer science. So again, okay, at the high school level, any district that has a high school grades 9 through 12 shall provide an opportunity for every high school student to take at least one computer science course. It does not mandate that students have to take a computer science course, only that one is offered. Now, we want to highly encourage all students to take computer science courses, right? That's where we would love to see. You all know the amount of computer science jobs that are out there. We cannot fill them. There are too many. So this is a great opportunity for students to get involved with computer science. But it is not a mandate that students take a computer science course. All right? Brain break. We need a brain break. That's a lot. Okay? Okay. So just quickly, I see a lot of people taking notes. Draw an emoji. If you have your video on, put your emoji up. Picture, how am I feeling right now about computer science and computer literacy? And I will show you this. This is my emoji. I am so excited. I am loving it. I know there's a lot to break down. We're going to do that here in just a minute. But show us how you're feeling right now about computer literacy and computer science. Brain break. There's Lindsay's. Lindsay's still. Yes, here's me, and my team knows they get so tired of me. We constantly are reminding each other about these mandates and about what information we need to be sharing with the educators that are reaching out and asking, all right? So I'm like the teacher to my staff right now and constantly quizzing them on the differences and the mandates. So Beatrice, Judy, yes, Love these. We're sharing them. Way to go, Mary. Mary's excited as well. So thank you. Thank you. We just need a little brain break. It's a lot to take in. All right. Keep a sharing. Keep a sharing. Okay. We are so very excited. I was honored to be a part of an incredible group of amazing educators that worked with ISB. And Jessie took the lead, bless her heart. She came in with us already rolling on developing this, and she came right in and really helped us better define it and develop this continuum. So thank you, Jessie, for your leadership on this. And I really do want to give a shout out to the amazing, I don't have all of their names. I can follow up with an email if anybody's interested, but it was an amazing group of computer science people and social studies teachers and everybody that really gave input into this continuum. But again, if you're in the presentation, you can click on this slide and it will bring up the actual continuum, okay? So there is a lot to take in on this. Just as a reminder, the computer literacy mandate is that all students K-12 should have an opportunity to gain computer literacy skills, okay? At the high school level, incoming students starting in the 9th grade are expected to have a year-long intensive instruction in computer literacy, okay? So if you take a look at this, we basically broke the continuum into sections. So we're just going to look at section 1 right now, which is basic operations, concepts, and keyboarding. Okay, these are computer literacy skills. All right, shortened to BOK, B-O-C-K. So if you look at number 1, CL, computer literacy, basic operations, concepts, and keyboarding. Number 1, identify the basic components of the computing device, whether a computer, laptop, or handheld device, right? And then when we look over here, we look at the grade levels because, again, computer literacy is mandated K-12. Should this be a skill that is in the beginning stage, developing, or secured? So identifying the basic components of computing device, computer, laptop, handheld device should be secured from 3rd grade on. Should be a beginning skill in kindergarten, a developing skill in 1st and 2nd grade, right? So you've all seen documents like this before. I don't want to go, obviously, into each and every one of them, okay? But this just gives you an idea of how it's broken down, all right? The next section is data management and security. So again, it gives you protect accounts by logging out of applications on shared computing devices. Use passwords, passphrases to secure individual devices. Creating robust passwords. Okay, these are computer literacy skills. Moving on, we look at internet searching and online databases. All right, so looking at creating favorites and bookmarks, the URL, what does .org versus .com versus .edu mean? Search tools, looking at your browser's history, conducting an image search. All right, these all fall under internet searching and online databases. So we continue on, we look at multimedia software apps and collaboration tools. So how do we use devices to create audio, video, photo? What are the difference between the different types of multimedia file types? How do we copy, paste, import, embed songs, embed videos? Basic drawing tools, editing tools, text tools, etc. And getting into creating and maintaining a digital portfolio of learning, okay? Then we get down into specific examples. So this was a part that, again, the content experts at ISB were able to really contribute greatly to this portion. So we wanted to create something that was helpful, that gave examples of what each of these mean. So the remaining part of this document gives you some of the examples. And as you can see, there is content crossover, right? So thinking again, how does the the computer literacy mandate read? And it reads that in K-8, there needs to be an opportunity to gain these skills. 9 up, it's intensive instruction for of a year. So looking at integrating computer literacy is going to be potentially, how are you doing this within the content and curriculum that you are already teaching? We have some great examples of what some of that might look like within this document. So with that, what we wanted to do is we wanted to share an example of something that is out there and ready for you to utilize and put towards some computer literacy skill development at the middle school level. Lindsay, I'll let you take it from here.
Thank you. So as Amber said, we are working with some incredible experts. You know, ISB has got some really great people on board, but then there's also a young woman by the name of Kyla Guru, who is currently at Stanford University. She wears very many hats, but she has an organization called Bits and Bytes, and they have created this coursework that is geared towards educators and middle school students, and it is called Cyber Sleuth. So I'm going to kind of take you through what it looks like right now. If it's all right, I'll share my screen so you can see what this looks like. So Cyber Sleuth is a program that's housed on a website called Thinkific, and you just need to create a free account to be a part of it. And it will take you through, first, the teacher guide. So how do you introduce the idea of cybersecurity and disinformation to your middle school students? How do you make sure that students are able to differentiate between reliable sources and things like fake news? And then it puts them in meaningful situations and case studies that are relevant to their specific lives. So you have your teacher's guide. You can look through that ahead of time. You can have this kind of asynchronous conversation with the curriculum developers. You can see they're all young females. So again, you're giving your students role models to look up to that look like them. It makes the content all the more relevant in that scenario as well. And then it's kind of a self-paced course of different modules. So you go through the slide deck at your leisure with your students. Gives you the background about the people, but the nice thing about it, let me go here, is it talks about information that is going on in your students' everyday lives. So they're part of TikTok, they need to know these things. How is that relevant to school? Well, then they tie it together to how disinformation plays into the content that students are seeing on places like TikTok or on Google or on Instagram, or just in people that they're following online or in the public eye. It's a very easy to follow course, again, with people that are representative of the dynamics of your classrooms. It has a bunch of different activities that are super easy to implement in your classroom, and worksheets as well. So this is turnkey. This is ready to go. The work that you would have to do is just kind of look through it all, decide what fits your classroom, what pieces you're going to take. However, if you're still feeling overwhelmed, IDEA has also created a boot camp where we will take you through all of this content and help you integrate it into your lesson plans. So this month-long cohort, which starts this month and goes on for several months, it will help you take your lesson plans that you're already doing and integrate this Thinkific account information into the work you're doing with students already. So you have two options. You've got the turnkey lessons that you can choose to look at on your own and figure it out, or you can join an accountability group and figure out how this stuff really parallels the work you're already doing with students in your classroom.
All right.
And then, do you want me to talk about the summer programming now too?
Yes. So you talked about the cohort, right?
Yep, the cohort is up and running. It's right there to register for. That's just a great accountability group to get to be a part of.
All right. I think I added that last slide about our summer programming here in a minute.
Okay.
I just added this one in here leading up to that because we wanted you to all know that although this may be what it's feeling like thinking about integrating computer literacy and computer science, we are here for you. We are not going to let you fall off that ledge. We are here to collaborate. In fact, I was talking with Lindsay today about the potential opportunity to offer some workshops that are really hands-on workshops and working with teachers on looking at some of the things that they are already doing and helping them integrate some computer literacy, computer science content into what they are already doing. So more on that to come. But right now, we do have some opportunities coming up for you for the summer.
So I just got to take a sneak peek at the summer programming that we are collaborating with CS for Success on, and it is incredible. We've crafted some opportunities for learning that are for people who are just super busy. They're not ready to commit to a cohort or long trainings or in-person anything. And so we've crafted some micro PD that you can do on your own. So it's learning at your leisure with supports from experts in the field. So the CS micro PD, if you scroll down a little bit more, Amber, to that middle section, the CS micro PD, no more, perfect, is aligned for teachers, coaches, and administrators. And so what you get with this is customized professional learning based on your role in the school district. So if you're a teacher looking to integrate CS into your classroom, you will get 4 30-minute videos with aligned to the topics that you see on the screen. So first you'll learn what is computer science. How do you master understanding it yourself? How do you unpack the computer science standards so that they make sense? And then where do they fit in the work you're already doing? How do you make them inclusive? How do you make them equitable? How can we kind of embed them into the work we're already doing? Or maybe you're a coach and you want to learn how to coach your teachers on how to better integrate the CS standards into their practices. In this track, you'll learn why are we doing CS? And that will help you kind of gain an understanding of how do I start the conversation with my teachers on implementation practices. Culturally responsive computer science standards, again, marrying it with the things you're already doing. Inquiry-based instruction, if you do any kind of STEAM work, or if you are into design thinking or project-based learning, what does this look like through the lens of computer science? And then identifying instructional supports. How can you complete a coaching cycle that integrates computer science standards into that coaching cycle with your teachers? And then lastly, there's the track for administrators. So again, 4 30-minute videos that kind of help you see that vertical articulation and perspective from each of the roles. But as an administrator, you'd see, how do I launch this idea of computer science standards? We have this great framework from ISB. We have these mandates. Where do I go to launch this programming? How do I select what kind of coursework? So at the high school level, we know we have to offer some sort of coursework. But for our students to be successful in high school, there has to be some sort of implementation before they reach high school. So how do I select the course, the classes, the people that I reach out to help me build capacity for teaching computer science? Where do I get the funding for it? This one's a great lesson on grant writing, on seeking out funds from other nonprofit organizations, or doing a pilot program with organizations that have equipment that want to have the computer science mandates include them. So how do I seek out these individuals? And then lastly, establishing partnerships. Again, whether it be with other schools, other districts, organizations, companies. So this lens really helps administrators see that big picture when it comes to CS integration, but then it all the way trickles down to implementation with your learners in the classroom. So you could end there with your kind of learning at your leisure, or you could also attend the capstone in-person event where you get to work with the creators of this content to build your toolkit for your district. So instead of doing all of this work on your own and trying to piece it together, you get to be in the room with the experts. They'll hold your hand and help you kind of piece together what a toolkit looks like for launching and implementing a CS program in your district, aligned to your district's initiatives and the state mandates. So it's super exciting. We're very grateful for our partnership with CS for Success, and I am thrilled to be able to offer this to everybody today. So Amber has it up on the screen. We'll make sure we link it in the chat so you have the opportunity to peruse the website as well.
Awesome, Lindsay. Thank you. That's a fabulous description. We're so excited to be working with them on creating this. So another quick brain break. We are huge fans of the series Schitt's Creek. So we want to know how you are feeling on a scale of David, thinking about computer literacy and computer science. So put the number in the chat. Where are you? 1, that's disgusting. 2, very uninterested in this option. 3, I feel this needs to be celebrated. And 4, thank you so much for this. And that thank you so much for this is not to us. It's for the computer literacy, computer science standards. Hey, we don't have any 1s, so that's good. That's good. And I appreciate those of you that are putting 2s in here because I do think it's, as though educators aren't on our minds enough as it is, but really thinking about a lot of mandates. And, you know, there are more mandates that we haven't even talked about, you know, that are coming into play here. But when I think about, as always, our focus on students, I put this at a 4. Having my own children who are so interested in technology and knowing that there are so many opportunities out there for them and wishing that they would have had this information, you know, at an earlier age where they felt more confident going into IT, computer science, etc. So thinking about these opportunities in terms of what we can how we can impact students by offering this to them gets me at the number 4. But otherwise, I'm with you. I would be at a 2. So with that, we want to now open it up. I'm going to quit sharing. And let's have this is an opportunity to ask questions. So feel free to put them in the chat. Or feel free at this point in time, even if you wave, we can call on you, or if you feel comfortable coming off mute and asking questions, that's fine as well. Mostly, we just wanted to take this opportunity to really introduce you and really highlight the fact that, again, thank you, ISB, for putting out that skills continuum, because we know many of you are waiting on that as you're planning for fall content, programming, curriculum, etc. So that resource is available for you now. All right, so questions.
There's one in the chat, Amber.
What are the expectations from ISB about how high school courses integrated into other content areas or a standalone course are assessed on whether or not the criteria for computer literacy intensive coursework is met?
I can speak to that, and I want to thank Amber again for her work on the computer literacy work group, and then also Lindsay and Amber for your work with the pre-K computer science work group as well. We've had some awesome people help out with getting all of our documents out, and we still have some that are in the process of getting finalized internally, but I want to thank you guys for your time on that. With that question, computer literacy will be reported on the technology survey that districts are required to complete. As per statute, it will be included in that annual report. And Amber can attest to our document for computer literacy started off to be, it was a lot longer than what you have here. And there are pieces that aren't on there that got taken off. And this is just the first version of this. The committee that worked on this, we all agree that the computer literacy portion will need to be reviewed and revised as we move forward. So I do think not anytime soon, because we got to get this rolling and get schools incorporating it, but it will be looked at and revised down the road. But there are some media literacy components we had on it that we took off because that's going to be covered with media literacy and other items.
Thank you, Jessie. And there is a question about media literacy, and I can speak to that. Yes, there is a media literacy. It is similar to computer literacy, in which the mandate is at the high school level for right now. So there is, I believe, that does need to be exposed. We are working, I can put information in the chat here in just a minute, but we are working with a coalition on putting out some resources as well, and a framework for integrating media literacy. Once that comes out, what we are really excited about is the way that the two, media literacy and computer literacy, can work together. So please don't think about it as being one more thing. In addition, the media literacy pieces can work with civics. I know civics has to be taught now. There's new civics standards. So there's a lot of ways to integrate computer literacy and media literacy together. Mia had a question. Are there any ideas for how the state is going to inspect schools, I think, for compliance in general? Is that, Mia, did we get that answered with Jessie's answer to Mary's question? For those, some of you that are on here asking kind of the same accountability question, you may not be familiar with the technology survey that Jessie mentioned, but it's likely that your administrators, your technology directors are the ones who would be accountable for filling out that information. So it isn't necessarily a reflection for individual classroom teachers to be filling out and showing. That would be through these surveys that your administrators, your tech department are familiar with filling out already. So it's just a part of what they're already doing. We're talking about funding. What funding is available to implement computer science at the elementary level? There is continuing to be, if you are not part of Computer Science Teachers Association, I would highly recommend you check that out, CSTA. Some of the professional development that we're doing is actually how you can teach computer literacy and computer science without technology. Believe it or not, you actually can. And some of, I know what the partner, the CS for Success that we've been working with on developing some of this PD, have some creative ideas. Lindsay has some very creative ideas on how to do that as well. So again, please feel free to reach out to us, whether you're an individual, whether you are a school district. We individualize the professional learning that we do for districts. So if this is a true concern as a district that you have, we are more than happy to work with you and create professional learning opportunities for you that can help you teach and integrate the computer literacy and computer science into what you are doing in ways that meet your needs, including, a lack of technology. And Jessie, thank you. Jessie, thank you so much for also mentioning CS for IL. That was the other one that I wanted to mention as well. So CS for IL is I suppose, like the state chapter of the Computer Science Teachers Association. So they are a phenomenal group. They led the way. President Steve Svetlik led the way in the computer literacy development. He also was on the computer science standards development. They're an incredible group, very supportive. I love listening to them share their passions about computer science. So I would agree. I believe that they have a group that you can be a part of. People post questions, share answers, etc. And then in addition, just mentioning CSTA again, their national convention is in July in Chicago. So it is in our backyard this year. If you are able to potentially attend, I know they also have some grants available for attending CSTA this summer. I believe it starts July 15th. So Lindsay put that link in the chat as well. So if you are interested, check out their grant opportunities to attend that national conference. All right, we were trying to keep this to 30 minutes. We're about 10 minutes over, so we are here. Please, if you have any other questions, let us know. Again, Jesse, thank you so much for joining. We really, really appreciate it. Jesse also just shared another resource, the Elementary Secondary Relief Digital Equity Funding Opportunity for Schools. You can reach out to Eric Grauke, who is also at ISB. Go ahead, Jesse.
There are some stipulations with that grant with the schools, and I'm not sure of them because I don't manage that, but I do know that he's the one in charge of it, so he would be able to answer questions for school districts that wonder if they're available or able to apply for that grant funding opportunity.
All right, that's so awesome, Jesse. Thank you for sharing that as well. All right, and as always, if this is your first time attending one of our webinars, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you at more. We do always follow up with everyone who has registered for one of our webinars with the recording and resources that were provided. So in the next day or so, you will receive that email from us with the recording and the information. And then, in addition, sorry, I didn't have it grabbed here. I want to provide the link for PDHs for this session as well. So I will put that link into the chat if you are looking for some PDHs for what you learned today. Best news ever. Your test was really just being able to share where you were on the David scale. So I won't start testing you like I do my staff on the difference of computer literacy and computer science yet, but that shall come in the future. But thank you so much for joining us. We're happy to stay on. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to us again with just questions. Jessie is amazing resource as well. We really appreciate her leadership and really appreciate that ISB is backing up their mandates with bringing Jessie on board. Her expertise is incredible. So I'm sure she is happy to help out if you have questions as well. And if you're in need of professional development, like I said, please reach out. We're happy to individualize whatever it is that your needs might be. You're welcome, Mary. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, everyone. I hope your school year is coming to a successful end. Enjoy your summer.